Good morning, everyone. Yes, it should be morning in every time zone or darn close to it anyway. For those of you that I haven't met, I'm Nancy Nix-Rice. I'm an image and wardrobe consultant in St. Louis, Missouri, and I've been helping other women feel terrific about their wardrobes for, I hate to admit this, but for 30 plus years. But never quite in the format that we are doing it now in these crazy times. So question number one is, what does it even mean when we say an optimized wardrobe? Most of us think of a wardrobe as stuff hanging in a closet or stuff folded up in drawers or not folded up in drawers. When I use that terminology, what I mean for myself and for clients and hopefully soon for all of you is a tightly edited collection of garments, each and every one of which, back up, edited collection of garments and accessories, because that's an important piece of the puzzle, each one of which is flattering in every way to the woman who's wearing it, and all of which work together in countless ways so that on any given day you could reach into your closet blindfolded, and no matter what you pulled out, you could create at least 3 dynamite outfits around that piece and walk out the door feeling fabulous. Never again moaning those words that make men want to jump off cliffs. Honey, I have nothing to wear. Or wondering all day if what you're wearing makes your butt look fat. So that's our target. How do we get from here to there? Well, as I was thinking about presenting this webinar, I realized there were really 2 pieces to that puzzle. The first one is the process. What are the steps that we're going to go through? And the second part is the judgment calls. How are we going to really know which things we should retain, which things we should discard, and what we might want to add to have that perfect wardrobe going into the future? We're going to spend the first little segment here talking about the process. And I hope my friend Barbara Busey is listening in on this webinar, because she's the person who told me many years ago that people will remember what you said so much better if you can put it into an acronym. So Barbara, I'm using the acronym FETCH for the steps in the process. The F stands for filter. This is the really easiest step. This means to filter out, to get rid of anything that you're hanging on to that's stained or torn or frayed, or for whatever reason you're not going to wear, or if you do, you're going to feel self-conscious the whole day because you know there's something wrong with it. Now, one little disclaimer to this filter process is that you probably do want to save at least one head-to-toe outfit in this category for the day that you get the wild idea to work in the yard or paint the basement walls or some other really messy project, and please do not ask me how I know about that risk. The second step is to eliminate unnecessary duplication. When I show up to do a live closet clean out and reorganization session for a client, virtually every single woman has 6, 8, 10 or more pairs of black pants, for instance, hanging there. And she'll begin immediately to tell me why this one isn't okay and that one isn't okay and another one really isn't quite fine. Then why are we hanging on to them? Black pants are not about to disappear from the retail landscape. Narrow it down to the couple of them that you feel great about if you must have black pants at all. I see the very same thing also with white shirts all the time. Let me show you an example of what I mean. These are pieces that I pulled out of one individual's closet. An individual, by the way, who was not particularly flattered by either black or bright white, and whose style was colorful and bohemian. So why she was allowing her closet to be overwhelmed with all those things that really weren't working is kind of a mystery. And I'm betting that she's not by any means the only woman out there who has that challenge. So eliminate as much of that unnecessary duplication as you can. Another place where I see that duplication is white shirts. Every must-have list you will ever see in a fashion magazine tells you you must have not one, but a collection of bright white shirts and bright white t-shirts, when as the matter of fact, that's one of the least flattering choices for almost every woman. In this slide, you'll see 5 women with all different kinds of color patterns wearing white shirts. Perfectly fine, darling shirts, but can you see how in 5 out of those 6 pictures, your eye goes directly to that shirt and not to the face of the woman who's wearing it? My objective for every woman I work with, both face-to-face and virtually, is to create a situation where she's wearing her clothes rather than having the clothes wearing her. And white blouses and shirts are at the top of the offender list for clothes that wear you. If you look at the woman in the bottom right-hand quadrant of, is it a quadrant if there are 6 of them? At any rate, the bottom right-hand woman. And do you see how that softer off-white pearl, whatever you want to call it, shell lets your attention go to her? So this is a category where you really want to take your filtering very, very seriously. The next thing you want to do is take every single thing out of your closet, out of the drawers, off the shelves, wherever you're stashing clothes, and ideally hang it on a rolling rod like the one you see on this slide. If you don't happen to have a rolling rod, that's fine. Spread them out on the bed, the chairs, use a couple of rooms if you need to, but create a situation where you can see everything that you have access to. And we're going to call that a utique, not a boutique, but a utique, which means an opportunity for you now to shop from the things that you already own and decide what goes back in your closet. I've learned over hundreds of closet reworks with women that there's really an emotionally fraught process when we look at it as what are we going to take out of your closet and get rid of, when you can look at what are you going to put back in there to go right on loving. It just gets a whole lot easier to deal with it. Now here's where those decision criteria that we talked about start to come into play. So we're going to put that over on a shelf to come back to in a few minutes while we continue looking at the process. After you've made those decisions, then you're ready to put things back in your closet in a particular order. And you'll want to start by separating things into categories. Now, you get to define the categories in the way they make sense to you. So one client might choose to put all her bottom garments, skirts, pants, jeans, everything, as a category that she calls bottoms. Somebody else might want to split out skirts from pants. Another client might never wear a skirt but want to divide her pants by jeans and casual pants and dressy pants. You define your categories, but sort your garments into categories. And then within each category, it's super helpful if you organize things in some sort of color sequence. I typically start with neutrals to the left, light to dark or dark to light, your choice, and then colors in rainbow order. When you have a multicolor piece, a print or a plaid, that fits into your rainbow scheme under the color that's most dominant in that print. And what you should see when you've accomplished that is that if you look at yourself and you look at your clothes, you should see a very definite visual relationship. I hope you can see the visual relationship between this young woman and the pieces from her closet contents that you saw on the last slide that we've chosen to retain and roll forward as the basis for her ideal wardrobe. The clothes really look a lot like her. You'll also get by far the most use out of your clothes if you hang everything. Things that are folded up or stashed away in drawers or under the bed or wherever just get forgotten way too easily and never give you the full value that they have to offer. One of the categories that people feel challenged about hanging is sweaters. If it's a lightweight sweater, you're probably fine just hanging it in the normal way, especially if you use those flopped flat hangers. But if it's a heavier sweater or something with long sleeves, I love this little trick that I learned years ago. I didn't make it up, but it's just a lifesaver. You'll see in those two pictures that on the left, we've folded the sweater in half. It's laid out on a flat surface, folded down the center front, center back, with the two sleeves positioned one on top of the other. Then you put the coat hanger in position in this quirky way where you feel like you're looking at the sweater almost upside down, and the hook is coming right up out of that V where the underarm seams of the sleeve meet the side seams of the body. Then you fold the body section down over one arm of the hanger, the sleeve section down over the other half of the hanger, and now the whole thing will stay in place perfectly, hang right back in your closet, and when you look across the shoulders of all your sweaters and jackets, the color and fabric of that sweater will be readily obvious to you, and you won't forget that you have it and can wear it. Now, I have admitted always that I'm kind of a sneaky, lazy cheater kind of wardrobe consultant. So here's my sneaky, lazy cheater way of hanging sweaters sometimes too. I do this with my long duster sweaters, of which the body is way too long to use that folded over technique that we just talked about. So instead, I slip the hook of the hanger between the product tag and the back of the neckline of the garment. So now that point is supporting most of the weight of the garment. And once again, your shoulders are not going to stretch out and you're keeping the garment readily available where you can see it easily. If you'd like more tips about closet organizing, and in fact about everything that we'll cover in this webinar, I've written a book about it all. It's called Looking Good Every Day, and it's crammed full of not only good information, but as you can see to the left, lots and lots of pictures of what we're talking about, and to help people get the information that they need to optimize their wardrobes at this particular point in time where so many of us seem to be focused on that task. We do have the book at a discounted price on the website, which is the nancynixrice.com that you're seeing at the bottom of the screen. So hopefully that will be a way to answer some of the questions that you might still have about organizing strategies.